Welcome and thank you for tuning in to the next episode of Opening Doors with Annette Campo. Today, I have the pleasure of having a personal friend, R&G, which is our referral network group that we've met through with the Chamber, here in studio with some of the most incredible products that I'm super excited for her to share. Well, let's start off. Introduce yourself and your company.
Hi, I'm Zehra from Rose Best. Your way to a healthy and beautiful skin. So we work with natural skincare. We have a line of natural skincare, handcrafted skincare. It's all made in-house in Michigan. We use no alcohol, no color in any of our products, and all our products are halal. All the ingredients in it are halal. And many people ask me why.
Why? It's so funny because you and I have conversations all the time,
Yes.
and she actually prompts me like that. So, why would that be?
So halal ingredients, they have more stringent restrictions, more stringent parameters to follow. And I like that because it has like no parabens, no sulfates. We anyway don't add SLS, in our products. It's drying, it's not good for you. But we also follow like having no blood in our products, like, no intoxications, no alcohol. And when you ask no alcohol, what do you mean? In soaps, many soaps can be made of beer and lard and things like that are not in our products.
So let me just roll it back a little bit.
Yeah.
So when did you decide that this is what you were going to do? Like this became your passion, your purpose that you wanted to give back to our community?
So the thing is that if you had asked me 30 years back, do you want to be a soaper? I'd laugh at your face. And I'm not kidding.
There's some stories like that, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yes. So I was part of a book club, and someone said, hey, while discussing the book, do you want to make soap? And I was like, whatever, let's make soap. Like, who cares, right? You're like, oh, just, it was 97. And so I was like, okay, let's make soap. And we made soap. And I, at that time, stayed with my sister. So I lived with my sister at that time for 3 years. And I came home. I did not use that soap. I gave it an entire batch to her, said, wait a month and then use it. And she goes, okay. And 2 months later, she comes and tells me, where's my soap? And I'm like, looking at her like, I have no clue what you're talking about. We couldn't find the person who taught me the soap making. But me being a psychologist, I had to go down that rabbit hole, like why, where, what, how. And I'm still in that rabbit hole, and it's been like 30 years.
That's an amazing
Yes,
story. Well, and I think one of the things about your products is that you have people walking in that have concerns. And some of those concerns are acne, right? Rosacea.
So FDA doesn't allow us to make any claims. So
Sure.
we don't make any claims on any of our products. We have to be very clear on that. There are no claims. Now, people do have very dry skin. People do have breakouts on their skin, and they find our soaps soothing. They find our soaps moisturize their skin. They find that they enjoy using them, and they come back for it.
Right.
Like, and sometimes they will request for us, like, make this soap. Like, I had a specific request to make a pine tar soap. When you make pine tar soap, it's very hard because it's like it seizes on you. So there are many things that happen in soap making, and I make it the traditional cold process way. And I use the heat transfer to make it. So I don't use any direct heat source. I use the heat of the lye to make my soap. And so it is very tricky sometimes for some soaps that people ask, and you're like, oh, like you wouldn't believe, but flower soaps are the hardest to make. Like rose will seize on you. You can have a soap in a bucket if you're not fast enough.
Wow.
And those are the ones I love to make. I love to make floral soaps, do that.
They smell so good. I mean, just here, watching the show, you aren't getting the benefit of what I'm getting right now, but I literally am standing, what I would say, in this comfortable space with all the smells around me.
Yeah. And what is amazing is when people walk in our store, and this is something that always amazes me, people with like who have migraines, who have like, things that bother them.
They're suffering from.
It doesn't bother them when they walk in my store. They say it's a pleasant smell and it's like so clean. And that is what I take pride in. I take pride in creating clean products. That's my whole thing. Like, anything that I'm giving you is clean. Like our wax melts are like vegan wax. So it's like a clean wax, when you burn it in your house, you're not worried about it.
So your wax melts are like, if I have that little tray that we melt wax on, you put those
Yeah.
pellets on it.
Yeah,
and
we
they
make them in
smell.
small quantities just because we feel like you don't waste as much.
Sure.
Wastage is a big thing in us, and we are very, very careful. That's why we make bar soaps, is because we want to be environmentally friendly. We don't want to be where you lose a lot. And my husband jokes this all the time, that my clients don't see me for a little while, because it lasts so long. I said, don't worry. They see me for their friends. They see me for their families. They see me for their gifts.
Well, you build your business based on what you want it to be, right?
Yes.
Which is a high-end quality product that you are proud of, right?
Yeah, proud of, and like want people to enjoy it, like, really truly enjoy it and feel good about it. Like, and that is why we do what we do. We are very careful on choosing our ingredients. Even our fragrances are no alcohol. Like we have to research a little bit more than what other companies would be to follow our halal ingredients. So to do that, we just make sure that we are looking into like I make things, and then I'm always looking at, okay, how can I make this better? Like it took me 10 years to perfect my soap recipe, and I don't regret a minute of that because it got to where it is today because of what I did.
That's an incredible story. And I think, one of the things that you've done is you've added more products on as your
Yes.
customers have requested,
Yes.
right? Like you said, the pine tar soap came from a request of your customer.
Yeah.
And so you have juniper rose here. And then, of course, talk a little bit, because I know you have the eye mask here, you have the aroma sachet. Do those go like in like linens and things like, okay, so the
Yeah.
smell.
It's just for the enjoying the smell. And then, a lot of people like, we make a lot of like, if you see this pretty purse and things like that, the reason is we make a lot of like gifts for like families and weddings, and like, and we personalize it.
Showers.
Yeah. And we personalize it. We write, instead of like it's saying juniper rose, it would say the name of the bride and the groom, and
Oh, I
the
love
date.
that.
I have a fun story about that. So we had a couple in our culture. We do like arranged marriages. So we had a couple that was meeting the first time. The boy was meeting a girl for the first time. A girl was meeting the boy for the first time, and they liked each other. So their hashtag on their wedding was "It's easy." And that's what was on all the products.
I love that.
Yeah, they wanted that.
They're
as
probably
the-
like, it's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
That's a lot of anxiety going into that, I'm sure.
oh yeah, and sometimes you end up meeting 10, 15, 20 people before the same
Sure.
like when you go dating, right? You don't just,
Yeah, we're not going to
Fine,
try to use me
yeah.
as an example today.
but I'm just
It's
saying.
already been done. So,
Of course,
but
of course.
but what's crazy is that what you have done with your company is you literally have morphed it into what your customers' needs are.
Yes.
So you've taken a great product and then morphed it into what your customer and met them where they're at for bridal showers, baby showers, wedding gifts. You had someone that you shared this morning when we were in group together where they're traveling to a wedding and they wanted groom a
Yeah.
gift and a bride gift, correct?
Yeah, they wanted like the bridesmaid, the groom, the friends that are coming for the wedding. And so they had different things they picked up for different people. And, we can always cater to what your needs are. They wanted some things personalized, some not. And so we worked it out, and they gave us 1 week notice. So we were like, okay, sometimes it happens. Sometimes I would prefer having a longer, notice, but it's,
You make it work.
you make it work, and it's business. So in the end, it is like, what's the need for it? Like.
Right. And then in your store that's located in Farmington Hills, you actually do classes.
Yeah. So we are located in Farmington, and we do like classes for like sugar scrub classes. We've added face mask classes, and eventually the goal is to run soap making classes, but that requires a bigger setup, and so we are working towards that. One of the reasons why I got the store was so that I could teach the trade forward, and so have other people involved in making soap. And I'm part of like the handcrafted soap and cosmetic guild, so we follow the stringent laws there too. And that's why we said we don't make claims, we don't do that, because it's not something, we are a soap making company, and that's what we want to
Sure.
follow. So I'm a certified soap maker,
I love
and
that.
not everybody certifies themselves, but we went through the process to be certified.
And it's not required, probably.
It's not
either.
required. No,
Yeah.
no.
So the fact that you've taken that extra step to make sure that you have the things in line that really makes your product shine.
Yeah,
All the questions are already answered for your customers. They just have to decide what flavor, what smell, and what application do they need based on what they're coming into your store for.
Thing is, and sometimes I have people with allergies, so I make lip balms that has sweet almond oil, and people may have allergies to it, so they'll be like, can you make it different? Now, because we make it ourselves, we can make it different. So we can use avocado oil instead of sweet almond oil. At that point, we have like a set. You have to take that many for me to make something customized, because then it's not, I wouldn't be crazy going around customizing things.
Right. Yeah, that would be really tough. Now, obviously, if you live in our community, you can come into the store, and we'll have your website on the video with your address, so they'll know how to find you. If it is somebody that is not in this area, do you have the ability to order online?
Yes. So we have clients in Arizona, we have clients in California, Ohio, Illinois. So what happens is, when I do a show in a different state, in a different city, I have a lot of clients in Houston. If they've used it once, they're coming back, which is lovely. I have some clients that are 20 years old, and they have not used any other soap besides what we make. And so people are generally loyal to us, and they generally like what they use. And if they don't, they come to us saying why, and we can always help them through it. Like, okay, this was like, I felt this way, but this is what I really want it to be. And so we work through it. We see what's the need, how it is. So yeah.
I love that. And so you actually have a gift today, right?
Yes.
I'm super excited, because when people bring gifts, they know the best way to impact me is to impact things that I love, right? So CARES in the Campus of Hope, which is our nonprofit here in our community that's feeding close to 1,000 families every single month. What do we have in this white bag?
So we take, when I started as a psychologist, I've seen the effects of homelessness on kids. I have seen kids being bullied. I've seen different things that can happen because of hygiene. And my clients would be very fair to me. They'd be like, Zehra, soap, food, what do you think I'll take, right? So me being a soap company, we knew we were going to make a dent and a difference a little bit, not to the scale that we can. Right now, we want to grow with that. So right now, we take 5% of our sales, we just turn it into soap, we give it to homeless. So we have 50 soaps right now. We purposely make it to this size so that they can carry it with them everywhere. So we make it into this is our bridal shower sizes, or, I mean, you can go with a big one, but generally when people are doing 100 and 200, that's what they do. So this is, we have 50 of them over here. This one is confetti, and it smells just amazing.
Gotta smell it.
So yeah, so we make sure.
I almost want to eat it.
And the one thing that we do, which it is not a soap end that we are giving away. We make it specifically to give away, and we put the same ingredients that we put in our normal soap.
Just a smaller size.
Just a smaller size.
Love
we
it.
don't change the ingredients just because we are giving them away. They all have shea butter, they all have cocoa butter, they all have olive oil, And there's a place downtown that I was giving it to, and I would have women come and ask for the soap. So that made you feel like, okay, you were doing something right.
Sure, you're making an impact.
You're making an impact. So I'm hoping this helps 50 other individuals. I want families to live with dignity. That is one of the main, I think, human rights that everybody should have. And having hygiene products is like so important, especially because the bridge card won't let you buy it.
Sure.
And so we thought that would be our way of giving. I'm hoping in the future we grow where we can sell a bar of soap and give a bar of soap.
I love that. And
That
I
would
think,
be
having
classic.
a company that has a heart
Yes.
means so much. At least it means so much to me when I go to
Yeah.
buy the products,
Yeah.
right? It just feels like I'm already getting a great product. I already know the owner, right? I know exactly what's in the product. I
Yeah.
can read the back of it and recognize every single ingredient on there.
Yes.
And if I have questions, I know where I can go. And then all at the end, you're like this beautiful cupcake, and then this beautiful frosting on top is that now you have a heart and you're giving back to the community of our most vulnerable. And
Yes.
that's the
And that's,
purpose of who you are as an
yes.
individual and the purpose of your company.
Yeah, that is our main purpose, is to grow so that we can grow in giving, in a big way to that. You talking about ingredients and stuff, just a quick caveat. US does not have law about soap. So US is the only place where as long as you can say this soap washes you, you don't have to put a label on it. We purposely will put a label on every soap. I want you to know every single ingredient that's in your, so that you can make a decision of whether you want it or not.
I love that too.
Rather than, you see a lot of naked bars, right, everywhere. And it's like, and then there'll be a little like label on the top that you may take it home, you may give it to somebody else, and they don't know what's in it. So I would prefer that everyone knows every oil that is in it. And that's the purpose we have, like in all of our products. There are some products that require, some products that don't require. We just make sure you know what's in it, so you know what you are deciding for yourself. Like, when we make face mask, we have like I don't have to say every powder that I put in there. I will, and then we make like kits for you. So like, this is like a face mask with a bowl and a spoon and a applicator and a hydrosol. So you don't have to think, what do I do with this mask?
Sure. Well, I love all of that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming in
Thank
and
you.
sharing not only your passion, your purpose, and just a great product.
Thank you.
Or products, because you have a whole line of
I
everything.
know.
It's
I
just
don't know how I grew
amazing.
there.
And so if you have interest, you have questions, please stop in to see her at her store. Go online. You can ask a question online as well. She'll respond to that. Here at the podcast, we have a tradition. We always ask this question, which is, if you ran across a younger version of yourself, what's a piece of advice that you would tell her?
One of the main ones would be to not worry, and to believe that everything you do has a reason. Like I always say, this profession chose me. I did not choose it, but to go with that flow, like there is a reason why you're doing this. There is a reason, and just enjoy. Like, I think as a younger self, I didn't take the time to relax, meditate, enjoy my time. And now I feel like I wish I could teach this to younger kids, like, just meditate. Like, we will have meditation classes, but, to like meditate, like really take back yourself. Just don't take yourself so seriously. I think as a young person, I must have taken myself too serious. And I'm like, no, I can be who I am. It's very hard to be who you are and be okay with it. I think that was the hardest piece, to learn I'm okay with who I am, and it's okay how I come across. And it is that person who has to decide if they want to be part of my life or not, and me not to push it.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
If you have any questions at all, please visit her on her website or in her store. And don't forget to subscribe. Or if you know of someone that can really benefit from this products or are struggling in their life with some questions about their skin, please share this video with them and get them connected with her as well. So don't forget to subscribe, share with a friend, and until next episode, I'll see you then.